Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alex Christians, and I am the president of the South African Masters Basketball Association. Tonight we have coming to the conclusion of our Gauteng Masters Basketball League, Game 70, the finals between MBB West and Titans. It's been a long journey for the Gauteng Masters, and what they have been doing is preparing for the SA Masters tournament, which will be held in September here in Gauteng. There's been some upsets, and there's been some very good highlights throughout the league. Seated at 1 in the league was Spartans, who came up against Titans, and Titans surprised them with a 15-point lead. And then game 2, we had the runners-up and the previous SA Masters champions, Young Legends, against MBB. And MBB once again came out with another surprise and winning by almost 20 points. So with just over 1 minute to go, we are getting ready, and we'd like to say thank you very much to Basketball Sheriff for live streaming this game, and our sponsor Fahrenheit, who sponsored our officials this year in the league, and Spartans Arms, who have donated the medals and the trophy. I've also got 3 other people who will be joining me in deciding who will be the finals MVP. So besides the medals, we'll also be giving out the MVP shield and a voucher from Fahrenheit. So we are counting down with just under 30 seconds to go. We also like to say thank you very much to Wheelchair Basketball. They've heated up this venue very nicely on this bitterly cold winter's day, but I think everybody is very excited to see the very first Gauteng Masters League being played. This is the biggest Masters League in South Africa and in Africa, if I'm not mistaken, with 12 teams competing and 70 games being played. So MBB have a very impressive lineup. This is the team that in 2019 or 2020 won the men's 35 plus, where they beat the Mozambican team. It's a South African team with mainly South African players, and of course Titans with a mixture of African countries players in their team. And now I have a surprise guest with me, so let's welcome Sensei Juice. Welcome, Sensei Juice.
The father of the girls, the most bearded one. The father of the girls, the most bearded, the most chocolate yum yum, the warmest, the Milo in any cold room on any winter's day, a cup of chicken soup on any winter's morning. Ladies and gentlemen, what an absolutely beautiful evening. Beautiful to be here. Thank you for the warm welcome. Mr. Alex.
Yes, Juice, we've had ups and downs, we've had surprises, and the underdogs have prevailed. We've seen our 3rd and 4th place unseating our 1 and 2 seats, and here we are for an exciting final between Titans and MBB West.
An absolute pleasure and an absolute testament to why we love the game of basketball. Another testament to say it will not always go the way it's predicted, but it will go the way the game of basketball produces on the floor. Titans, MBB, after an incredible season of Masters basketball, it has now brought us here. As we see our tip-off for the game, and immediately Dr. Maranele goes on attack for MBB. Cyril to set it up.
So both of these teams have a very similar style of basketball. They like to get the ball on the inside to their bigs, but the biggest scorers in them have been their quick guards on both sides.
Absolutely.
And you can see with Titans already their guards are going on the fast break and making and opening up the game with the first bucket.
A very similar style of play on both rosters, and of course some very good international experience over the years for both teams. So this will definitely be a good Game of Thrones when we see who will be the king of it all at the end of the day.
Definitely. And of course, this time around, MBB playing a very different game, going very big, with 4 bigs and only 1 small, while Titans keeping their usual 3 smalls and 2 bigs. And I think that is where they like to play. They like a running game. And this man here has been on fire throughout the league. Number 30, par 4.
I think it's been very good to see Gracie and at the impact.
And there he goes already. He's starting very early, Juice.
A steal and a bucket, just goes to show that it's been a very good season for Gracie and everything that is contributed for the Titans.
Yep.
So yeah, it's very, very good addition, and welcome to him, because I believe this is his maiden Masters season.
Actually, he's played in the M35s before, but this is his proper Masters, where you're playing with the very old guys who are 40, 45 and 50.
Indeed. And I think to your point about MBB starting with 4 bigs, they realized that the big man for the Titans, Gucci, he's usually the primary man on offense, so they'll definitely be looking to tire him out and see what he can do down the stretch.
Yep. And he's playing in his usual position at high post, just trying to distribute. And if they're going to sag on him, he's going to do what he did in the last game, just pop up those free throws.
And we love to see it. And again, it's just another testament of international experience. Because if you sleep on a man, he'll definitely punish you. So it will always be now interesting to see how the defensive rotation is for MBB.
So the game now getting a bit more timid. There's not that much butterflies. And on both sides playing very careful, very precautious, trying not to make too many fumbles, but the pressure is on.
The pressure is definitely on, and it will be very good to see how the refs and the officials, they set the tone for this game to just make sure that down the stretch we have a very flowing game with very little interruption.
And there's a bit more experience on the coaching side, especially when it comes to MBB, as you can see in their set plays, with Coach Selepe there.
Coach Buck, as he's also affectionately known in the game. Of course, one of the more up and coming as a coach, but very experienced as a player. So it's always good to see guys starting to transition into other roles of the game as they grow.
For sure. Query going to the free throw line for the first time. I think this is the first free throw for the game, and you can see they're still a bit rusty. It shows with Masters we only warm up by the second and third quarter.
Very true. Because again, we are in a very chilly space, so it will definitely count for the guys that the more minutes they spend on the floor, the more loose they get.
Yep.
So we are definitely in for a very good finish. But in the interim, we are enjoying a very beautiful game.
For sure. It's definitely warming us up. And even the crowd is here. I hate to say this, but this looks like we're getting a bigger crowd than BNL and JBA combined.
You should not hate to say it, because it is the absolute truth. It is the absolute truth, because the masses will always find the game.
That's for sure. And we can see number 28 for Titans, the only player on the court who made it to the finals last year when we introduced Masters basketball in Gauteng for the first time, trying to see whether there will be an uptake. And I must say, Juice, it has not been a surprise. 16 teams registered, 14 teams eventually were able to put together teams, and we had 70 beautiful games.
And within that, let me actually also take my hat off to Samba, because we have had the International Masters Tournament coming in, and we've seen everybody that's stepping out and taking the floor within the Masters Tournament. So to have a Gauteng Masters League, it's no surprise to see everybody coming out, having fun and having a ball.
That's for sure. They're keeping us all warm, and they're keeping themselves warm.
And I cannot wait to one day be old enough to play in the Masters League as well.
Sensei. You are called Sensei for a reason. Maybe next year you'll be joining me in the over 50s.
Anything is possible. Anything is possible, let me tell you.
And there we go. The guard from Titans taking control of this game and showing their versatility.
Indeed, Gijo taking a very difficult shot there and making it. So, and he's one of the guys that are known to take those degree of difficult shots, and he'll have a good percentage on them.
And now it's the battle of the bigs.
Battle of the bigs. Another beautiful thing, and you can see in the slow-mo there that this is exactly part of the plan. You know, all the bigs that are on the floor, each one of them is going to have a turn on Gucci. And yeah, the ref calls it. Now it's time for the Titans to make a business decision. Do we keep Gucci on the floor, or do we put him on the bench for a little while?
Well, I think he's still got a little bit of energy in his legs, so I think they'll keep him on. But if you look at that just now, what we saw, you can also see the experience of our referees coming through. I mean, with Masters now, we've made it very clear we want experienced refs, because when we come to September, we need them going, because we have 7 different countries coming to compete this year, from Angola down to Mozambique and Zimbabwe, all coming in. Men's and women's teams coming to compete here.
And with that, you know, hats off to the entire organization, because what you are looking to do is to give a very high-end product so that people keep coming back year in, year out, and more countries have an interest as well in coming in because they see a very good product that's been rendered.
For sure. So this year we had to do something. Last year the Mozambicans had a whitewash in winning all the Masters games against South Africa. So that's why we thought we'd introduce this league in its full span, and it's been very successful. So hats go off to also Fahrenheit, who've come on board with the sponsors for the officials, both the referees and the table officials. And you can see they're looking very good there on the side, keeping the score. And as our refs running up and down, they look very professional, I must say, and they are showing their professionalism.
Looking very professional, and every time a ref goes past on the screen, I always remember that I need to pass by Fahrenheit for a good piece of steak and some wine.
Definitely. And if you can't do that and you've already prepared your popcorn at home, that is why we have Basketball Sheriff here to bring it in the comfort of your own home, live streaming it just for us.
Shout outs to the Basketball Sheriff. You know, I mean, he's one of the people that have dedicated their life to bringing us the best visuals for the game, and it's been such a beautiful experience to see the Basketball Sheriff coming in. Now people can be at home watching the game they love without worrying, and you know, so it's been a beautiful one. Yeah. It's been a beautiful one. So hats off to the Basketball Sheriff. Here's more years to come.
That's for sure. And as you can see, the first timeout is called. Coach Selepe on his board on the one side with MBB, and Coach Leon shouting out the odds on the other side. Very tight game with the home team MBB with 6, and Titans taking the lead in the first quarter with 8 points.
You know, I've had the pleasure of being on benches with teams like Young Legends, and I must tell you, on a timeout like this, I'm very curious on what Coach Selepe is saying, because I know when I try to coach Young Legends, somebody somewhere will always have more experience than I, but it's always good when you are able to render some advice to more of the veterans and they actually take in to some of that advice that you give.
Well, once again, welcome to the Masters. Remember, majority of these players are head coaches and coaches of majority of the clubs in South Africa.
100%.
And that's our first 3.
First 3, Dr. Fu.
Dr. Fu Marhanele. Now, Titans also like to try their hand at the threes, but this time they're all going inside. And there's the quickness of their guards once again showing, coming through. And the bigs are showing their grit under the hoop for MBB. And there's another steal from Titans with their guards.
Quick hands
and
there.
They're coming in big numbers as they go down the hoop.
And again, it just shows the difference, because if you've got your guards and they are quick hands, and but there goes Q with some quickness but couldn't finish.
Q is now showing that he's one of those in your 40 to 45 category. Distributional ball is getting around at least. I hope our youngsters are watching that. It's not only about dribbling, it's about getting the ball around to all your players.
Getting the ball around, because the ball will always move faster than the man.
Except if you sensei.
Except if you sensei. Inner peace, meditation. One step, wax off, wax on.
So we're now going to see another battle of the bigs, but no, they give it out straight away, and MBB bigs are showing much more versatility here. And as you said,
Q read that very well,
yeah,
with that entry attempt to give in Khobane. Shabalala there with an attempted 3.
Which Shabalala is this? Remember, we got to be very careful. We've got both the Shabalala brothers on the court right now.
So that you've got Nge, aka Lloyd, at number 23, and Cyril at number 33. Cyril bringing it up. Oh, that's a Shabalala break there.
Yeah.
Cyril just couldn't find Lloyd on that.
I'm surprised because Lloyd is not much of a fast breaker.
Both of them are not much of fast breakers. So I suppose within the Shabalala household, that would be defined as a fast break.
There we go. You are treading on very, very thin ice. You forget I'm a KZN boy, eh? So now you can see MBB's also changed the what they look like, the makeup of their team. They've also gone in for more guards. And Titans with their same usual 3 spin doctors staying on the court, getting the ball moved around, but MBB using their cap or using their coach with the substitution in bringing in the faster guards now.
And then you could see there Mkonto right on the steal, just could not finish, but gets fouled, so he's going to the charity stripe for 2.
And we're not talking about Mkonto because we're talking about KZN.
Absolutely, this is Mdu right there, Mdu Mkonto.
So Mdu goes to the line. He was on fire in the playoffs, being very pivotal in the win for them against Young Legends.
So I got that while I was on national duty and I was out of the country and could not come suit up for Young Legends. So when I got the news that we had a 20-point drubbing, it somewhat broke my heart. But for the love of the game, we know these things, they happen. And we have to expect them.
And of course, inner peace.
Inner peace, meditation. Wax on, wax off. Also, you have to appreciate, to your point about MBB, for the past few years, the level of improvements that they've made within the organization. You know, I mean, moving from just a social club and competing in different tournaments to all the way to organizing and making sure that they compete all the way to representing South Africa at the BAL qualifiers. So one has to definitely commend Cyril and the organization for that.
But see, the problem with staying in the slaughterhouse, you don't get to see much basketball. So you must remember that already in 2019, 2020, MBB beat Mozambique in the M35 finals here in Gauteng.
Wasn't I there?
Yo, you were not there. You were still at the slaughterhouse.
Again, another fast break there. Mdu just could not finish. But once again, drawing the foul and going once again to the charity stripe.
As I say, Mdu was the change maker in the last game, and he coming on now as a substitute, super sub, and he's already making a difference.
I think we might need to just check his ID once again, because he's running like a young 21-year-old there, Mdu Mkonto. But hey, him being a good friend of mine, I do have an idea that he was there around 1976. So it might just be correct. He's just so quick as he makes the first one.
Definitely. I mean, his hairstyle alone shows you he's definitely in the Masters League.
Well, the hairstyle might suggest that he's a 2000, because I've seen this hairstyle, within some of the young bucks in some of the different tournaments that I've attended. And talking about that hairstyle, I'm so far from it because I have to wear a hat now because I'm growing bald. So I'm a bit jealous of his crown.
But you must remember, when God created people, especially men, he covered most of them up with hair. The rest he made perfect like us with no hair.
And I've got a beard. Makes up for it.
Well, this is the joy of, it's not only social, it can be competitive.
Absolutely.
But it's for the love and the fun of the game. And that's what we've seen on and off the court. We've got a crowd here. They're enjoying it. They're even sipping on cold stuff in the cold.
I think it's because all the heat that is on the court is definitely affording them the ability to just drink something cold, because everything else that is hot on the floor is definitely keeping them warm.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And
Osman going for the free throw, and you can see they're trying to cheer him on. As you can see, they're laughing, they're smiling. They're very happy, these Masters supporters. We've got to love them.
The beauty of Masters basketball.
That's for sure.
You've got a lot of talent over the years that have contributed so richly to the game, and now that it's such a brotherhood that you see guys literally competing on the floor one moment and sitting and enjoying a drink with each other just after that at the next moment.
Definitely. So, there we go. It is the Shabalala brothers.
The Shabalala connection. He didn't even have to look at him to know he was there. That's a beautiful pass there from Lloyd to Cyril.
Yeah, for sure. And the score is really now going neck and neck.
Khobane.
(17-18), 1 point difference. It was 17-8. 17-8.
Timeout there called on the floor.
17-8. Titans has lost this team, and MBB just keep on going.
MBB steadily getting into their flow and their rhythm, and I think that was one of the main strategies to start the game, just to disable Gucci so that he lets everyone else do the work, and now MBB catching their stride and pulling away.
And of course, Q was very pivotal in that semi-final as well. I think he came in and knocked about 3 or 4 of those 3-pointers in, giving them the big lead against Young Legends, and they just could not recover.
And again, he's been doing that for over 2 decades, and that's why a lot of times I call him Boom Baby, because back at Verts there was a play that was specifically designed for him: cut on the baseline, catch, shoot, not a single dribble. So to this day, the Boom Baby is still effective.
Boom Baby, not Boom Box Baby.
I'm the Boom Box Baby.
Are you the Boom Box? Now we're getting the age in there, you see? You see now who was born in 76 and who was born in the 80s.
Temba couldn't hold on there. With just under a minute to go, it's 17 to MBB and 8 to the Titans.
So like you, I also want to be on that bench to hear what Selepe had to tell them to come back from a 2-point deficit to be up now by 9 points.
Ooh, boom!
There goes Nge.
There goes Nge. I think all that Selepe would have to drawn up on that board was just, guys, if we win, I'm going to get us shoes from Puma. That's good motivation. As Desmond Osman goes to the floor. A drive there by Khobane, a bump. He couldn't finish, and he met a very big body as he's now sent to the charity stripe.
So he may just be able to break the ice here, and he does.
Makes the first.
He was the second biggest contributor after par 4 in the last game. So he needs to pick up his score here to bring Titans back into the game.
2 of 2. That's a very good one. And with that, the Titans hit double digits.
And now Selepe pacing up and down. While we've got Chama on the other side coaching the Titans today, because Leon seems to be on the court.
After a very long setup of the play, they just did not put any baking powder and the dough couldn't rise.
Well, you must understand, when it comes to Zulu boys, we don't bake. We can shake, but we do not bake.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the first quarter with 20 MBB and 10 to the Titans.
So there's some highlights coming in, courtesy of Basketball Sheriff. So we're coming back for the second quarter of the Gauteng Masters Basketball League 2020-25 finals.
The finals. After another beautiful, well-orchestrated season of Masters basketball, where we were able to see so many of our veterans take to the floor and bring back some great memories in most instances of basketball.
Definitely, and I must say thank you to our tournament director, William Price.
Mr. Price.
He has been instructive in making sure that the teams have been communicated to, they've been told what to do, when to be here, and believe it or not, these masters have actually started keeping to their time.
And let me tell you, one of the most beautifulest things is the part that you haven't seen a lot of forfeits. I don't believe even that there has been any. I don't recall seeing any forfeits.
We haven't had a single forfeit.
Yeah.
We've played all 70 games.
100%.
So 100% as you said.
And with that, you know, a big shout out to the good folks here at the Mandeville Indoor Sports Arena, as well as Brixton Multipurpose Center.
That's the city of Johannesburg, who've been partnering with us since the opening of the Brixton Multipurpose, and that's where we're taking our Masters tournament to again.
100%. That is going to be another beautiful and humdinger of a time. So ladies and gentlemen, do make sure that you keep in touch and in contact with all Samba updates, because once it comes down and it happens, we are going to Samba.
For sure, so go and see our website, www.samastersbasketball.co.za. All the information is there. And yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting tournament, because the South African teams, as you can see, we're getting them ready. We cannot have another Mozambican whitewash.
Absolutely, absolutely. And speak about some of the categories in the tournament.
So we've got our men's 35, where we've got a majority Mozambican teams, but we've got 4 South African teams in that division. Our biggest category this year, Masters 40 for men. We have 2 pools of 8 teams. That's 16 teams alone in just your men's 40s. We've got a full complement of women's 30 plus, which is 8 teams. We've got a full complement of women's 40 plus of 8 teams. We've got men's 45, another 8 in that team, only 1 pool. And unfortunately for the men's 50s, we've only managed 3. So we may get in a social team to come in there to make it a rotation of 4.
That is beautiful. And again, another beautiful testament of the growth of the game. You know, we've got a lot of international experience within that, even coming in from the different countries. You know, because these are veterans that have played through different levels in their respective countries, different leagues in their respective countries. And now this is another fun time where, again, it's a beautiful battle, but more a social and a way to look down memory lane with your colleagues, fellow brothers and sisters.
That's for sure. I mean, we've got teams coming in from Angola. We've got, for the first time, I think there's about 4 teams coming in from Botswana. We've got teams from Eswatini, Mozambique. Our local ladies who are Zimbabwean nationals, they put in their team as well. We've got our Namibian brothers coming in as usual. But I'm glad in every single category, men and women, we've got South African teams.
Yes, absolutely. The growth, you know. And again, you know, I just cannot wait for like 4 or 5 years time when I finally qualify to play Masters tournament.
Yeah, for now we're happy with you just sitting on the benches and commentating.
Yeah.
It actually assists us in the game. Less people get injured, the more we get to play.
Ditto.
So Osman with a nice spin there, just cannot finish, and Kobani with the rebound. It looked like the two bigs are back on for Titans, and you can see the score slowing down for MBB now with those two bigs on.
100%. Still a 10-point cushion, but yeah, some movement there. Do bringing it up.
So it's quite interesting when you watch Masters. If you're not here for the first quarter, you would say these guys got no energy.
100%.
Yeah, but what they must remember is Masters tend to build up their energy in the second and third quarter so that they can finish with a big flurry in the fourth quarter.
Finish strong. They'll always warm up into the game and definitely look for the strong finish.
Definitely.
At crunch time.
So I was always interested to find out why does he wear a band-aid on his nose. So I figured it out. It's a nose ring.
Ah, he's got a nose ring.
Yeah, definitely.
I need to go speak to Gracie after this.
Titans coming up nice now. You can see they're starting their rhythm. They like that running game. Brought the game down now to 6-point difference.
100%. And let's see if MBB can set up anything there with Khwedi on the inside. Do with the left hand finish there.
And if you people heard that thunder, it's not an earthquake. This is just Masters getting down to the ground. We are big guys, we make a big noise, but we do get up.
And of course, it's not like the Michael Jackson song, there is no blood on the dance floor.
That's for sure. And that we gotta say thanks to our referees who've controlled our games, made sure it's fun but competitive.
Very fun, very competitive. There's always a lot of movement, and now and then you will see the players remonstrating with the refs, but at the end of the day, it's all love, it's all basketball.
Definitely. And timeout called in our second quarter, the first timeout being called. And you can see in it already is Chama. He's very excited that Titans are making a comeback, but as you can see from the playbacks, MBB still using their bigs to get in there.
Thabang Khwedi there, always been the man on the inside with the dancing shoes on. And of course, Gracie there with the layup. Coach Kimati couldn't necessarily do a chase down there.
Part of him was there, but
it's the thought that
it's
counts.
the thought that counts, definitely. And there we go again, now the Titans fast break, and this is where they've always been capitalizing on. The bigs are a bit on the slower side, so they prefer just sending that ball down the court and letting them run.
Always looking for the break, and if a team is sleeping and there's no transition defense, definitely that's an opportunity to take advantage of.
And this is a big difference between Titans and MBB when they met during the league round robin. MBB there was much more slower. This time they've got some pace in their game, and Titans ran away with that game using their speed. But this is a very well contested game. MBB showing a lot of grit, coming back and showing, hey guys, this is why we were the M35 champions in 2019.
100%, and also I think
2020.
The international experience also shows, because I mean, between the likes of Fumani now with the ball, Quinton, Thabang Khwedi, Coach Kimati as a coach, there was a lot of international experience there. And of course, if you leave him open, Coach Kimati will punish you.
That's for sure, and that's exactly what he's shown here. And of course, most of the players on this bench is also part of the technical team for MBB that represented South Africa.
100%, 100%. So it's a shared array of different hats being worn.
Oh.
A beautiful pass there by Gucci, just couldn't catch.
Some nice ball movement there. And MBB was lucky to come off with a turnover.
Do there with an attempt, couldn't connect. Maranele with the steal and then brings it up. Kimati there with another attempt, couldn't connect.
A little bit of miscommunication, but it's good to be strong like Leon. You can still take your own partner on.
100%. Screen your own man. And of course, with that attempt, Coach Kimati tried to go 2 for 2 from 3 to try and channel his inner Steph Curry. Of course, he eats a lot of curry.
And this is South Africa. That's the only thing you can eat in winter.
Because you're a Durban boy as well.
You see, the problem with Gautengers is they only know one place, and that's Durban. Remember, I come from the capital of basketball, Pietermaritzburg.
100%. And of course, Q there with another boom, baby.
Yeah. Keeping
Dialed
it
in.
alive for MBB, keeping that margin of lead. So putting more pressure on Titans to be more proactive, and they're getting some nice passes on the inside. This time they finished.
This time it was a good finish there. Nice threading of the needle there.
For sure. So while we get ready for the halftime, you can see that, as I said, Masters, towards the end of the second half, beginning of third, we just getting our reboost, getting our inner peace, our inner strength, wusa, so that come fourth quarter we can finish with a big bang.
As we always say, crunch time is munch time, and we look forward to it all the time.
For sure. And talking about munch time, we must say thanks again to our sponsor, Fahrenheit. I went and enjoyed the prawns they do. It's definitely something
sure.
worth going for.
Okay, some surf and turf, or was it just prawns on?
Dude, I'm from KZN. Surf and turf I can have any time, but prawns is what I want.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm definitely looking to go into enjoying some of that good dishing up at Fahrenheit. Of course, I've got one there next to the office in Alberton at the Lemon Tree Shopping Center. So I will make sure to go see them very soon.
Just remember to take your visa, hey? You're crossing the border there.
Oh yeah, of course. Another timeout on the floor with just over 2 minutes to go to the half. Scores is 32 to MBB, 18 to the Titans.
It's been a long season for MBB. They came in at number 3. Only the second half of the league is when they started mashing and they started picking up, and it's showing. They're in the finals.
They're in the finals, and that's how you finish. You can start a season to a certain rhythm, but the aim of that rhythm is to get better and finish your season strong, and we definitely see it.
And there you can see Q taking those threes in his boom baby.
Boom, baby. He's been doing that since he had cornrows, and that's a long time ago.
Well, he is one of the long players on the court right now. And experience showing there. What's for money? Now going to the free throw line after being fouled. And I think this is where your experience has to count. When you get into the finals, if you're not composed, you're either going to make it or break it.
Composure is always definitely key, and that's part of what you expect in a Masters League, where it's the seasoned veterans that are coming in, and you want to see the composure, you want to see the efficiency and the execution.
No, definitely. With the semi-finals being run at Brixton last Friday, I did try to get the Masters in the next day, which was World Yoga Day, but unfortunately none of them were up for any meditation.
I wish I got that call.
So World Yoga Day is celebrated on the 21st of June every year. This is the second time we had it at Brixton. multi-purpose center. And the first one we had about 50 people attend. This time we had about 250 people in attendance.
That is incredible.
So it is picking up, and our inner piece is definitely showing.
Oh yeah, indeed.
And that is why we as masters can continue to play basketball.
And I think to that point, it's a very important point to have, because June is marked as World Men's Mental Health Month. So having initiatives such as World Yoga Day is something that is much needed. Hopefully it can happen more than once a year, because we see a lot of all of us, not just men but women as well. The world is steadily taking a toll on all of us, and the constant prayer is that we all steadily find a way to pull through.
Definitely.
Wax on, wax off.
Wax on, wax off. Wusa. So I must say it's been a pleasure working with Basketball Sheriff. They've come to the front every time we needed them, and they've come and done our finals, whether it was the Masters tournament or now the league, and you can see the quality that they're showing is beautiful.
The Basketball Sheriff brings worldwide productions. This is the same team that toured with NBA Africa Academy, the NBA Academy at one point, and that just goes to show, to testament that the output is very beautiful, the production is very professional. So that's our guy. We are so honored, and always a pleasure to have the Basketball Sheriff in the house.
No, for sure. And then the reason why they had to go with NBA Academy was because, you can't only have tall people in Africa. You have to have some of the little guys doing the work.
Very good, very true. Very true. So, and here we are able to see them live and in full effect.
No, for sure. Even the stands look a little higher than some of these guys behind the camera. Giants. But that's the best thing about Masters basketball. It does not matter about your height, as long as you got the ball in your hand and you can move from one side to the other side.
The pleasure of it, the pleasure of the game. As Cyril takes it coast to coast, just couldn't finish there on that break.
So I think the cold is coming in. Even the crowd is giving us a bit of silence. And hopefully, and there's the bucket, and the crowd wakes up. That's all they needed.
There. All we need is the bucket. That's a very good steal there and a good finish. Thabang Kgwedi there with another beautiful vintage spin move. And he's been also doing it for years and decades. Dancing shoes on, fakes the move, and then goes the other way. That is an innovation I have not seen before, but trust Thabang Kgwedi to bring the moves.
But then you can see what we call the old man hezi.
Absolutely.
Waiting for that foul, and then he goes up.
Vintage experience, it's showing, and that man has been owning the paint for as long as we can remember, as he makes the first free throw.
We see MBB also bringing in some of their youngsters into this game now, and so is Titans.
As he goes 2 for 2.
I think half of my beard got more grey on it than most of the kids on the court right now.
and of course you also have that young man Vincent on the floor for the Titans. One of the guys who I can say has a rather sexy beard, and I will say that because I qualify with my own beard. Shout outs to Vince and his beard.
So one day when you make it to Masters like him, hopefully your beard can look like
Hopefully I can have a pointy beard like him. 9 seconds to go. Ooh. As he drops him, just could not finish there. Mdu.
Some fancy footwork there by Mdu.
That would have just shut the entire arena out had he made that shot. But Mdu doing what Mdu does, we've seen that a lot of times as my man Vince hobbles to the bench with his spectacles there, trying to find his way.
And let's watch it. He pushes
cross
the leg, crossover.
Cross. Ooh, even on the help defense, He had an anticipation, but Mdu had other ideas.
Now, see, Mdu needs to go down to KZN, get some curry, and he would have definitely made that shot.
He would have made that follow-through shot, and that's why I'm saying somebody needs to come in and check Mdu's ID, because that was a young man move.
Well, that's exactly what I'm about to do. I now have to leave from commentator to commissioner as we move into the second half, and I'm going to be welcoming another guest commentator who's taking over from me. So let's hear it for the one and only Kaibe Molo Mhlobo wami.
Fire!
What up, what up, what up?
That, and just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we are steadily getting close to tipping off the second half, as again the scores 34 to MBB and 20 to the Titans. And let me take this moment to welcome a very good friend, a vest on vest, one of my good friends, Mr. Kaibe Fire, Coach K.
What up,
Mollo.
what up, OJ? What up, Sensei Juice?
My
What
main
up,
man.
what up, sports fans? Hey, this game is going on. It was a bit slow. I think that first quarter was tough. People were still trying to warm up.
That
But
first-
here in the third, hopefully things will get going.
As a norm within the Masters fray, we've noticed that the game will always start slow and then finish faster and more intense to the finish. As we see there, Temba with an attempt, couldn't connect there. That is Temba Mngadi, aka Sega. Of course, and
Warm up, and maybe that shot will start falling.
and of course, with that 4 to start the
veteran, the veteran Tabang still doing his thing.
I will always say, when a man is wearing red shoes, you gotta love and appreciate everything he does, and that's why you'll always find me wearing red shoes.
Because all red shoes, baby.
The dancing shoes all
It's
day,
like
all night.
if you're in football and you're wearing white soccer boots, you're Augustine Makalakalan. We start wondering, oh, yike, this guy must be a steering.
Sinokwane.
Bona. Mchaya game, boy. There goes Tabang missing the first one. Hey, this vest, I told you, it's cold. He spent too much time on the side.
He has to
Let's see whether he hits
recalibrate.
number 2. 0.
He will definitely recalibrate. So let's see what Gracie will conjure up for the Titans there, bringing it up.
Do you call him Gracie or Parfait or Kampar or all of them?
I think you can call all of them.
All of the
because
above.
all of them will culminate to such moves being executed.
That was a proper assist.
Proper assist, proper ball movement
You
there.
saw that QD4 was late.
Very late, and
Yeah.
I think that was good recognition there by Kevin Khobane
100%.
to see that and move the ball very, very wisely.
I told you, Ntembino is ice cold. You
I-
can't expect him to get in the game and immediately be controlling possession. Coach Selepe, I think has to talk to us old school coaches just to get people a touch early in the first half, so that they warm up quickly.
They have a good feel of the floor. That's true indeed.
But anyway, here we go. Kampar. Oh, did you see C-Note? He hardly got up off the floor. He can hardly jump over a piece of paper.
I think he will just be happy to know that that will be recorded as a rebound.
I'm going to let him know. I'm going to let him know. he actually came down with that as if he had jumped over a building. I don't know, man.
And I mean, as we see there, in and out, Q, turn, couldn't finish there as he's fouled and he's going to the charity stripe.
QD4 still making free throws. That's why he loves the charity stripe. He will go there whenever he can, get some free buckets.
That good man.
I-
Commentators curse there.
Commentators curse, baby.
But we've seen in the first half him making a lot of a number of the long range attempts. So he's still looking good even from long range.
There goes C-Note with another rebound. He's going to tell you that he was high as a kite. But it is what it is. There he is, being his PG self. There goes QD4.
Baby hook
Young
there.
baby hook.
It works beautifully.
A soft touch.
Outside it's a boom baby. Inside it's a baby hook. Very effective.
That's what he do.
It's baby, baby, baby.
Uh-oh. Yep. Only way to stop him is by fouling him.
Definitely knowing
That young man can still move.
he definitely knows how to use his quicks.
Yes, sir.
Very effective into the gaps. You know,
There he goes.
across there. Fumani couldn't.
3 of them collapsed on him at the same time.
They have to.
They have
because if you do not, that man is moving all the way like a viper.
That's what happens.
Gijo there to inbound.
Mr. Kuda is still determining whether the guys are in foul trouble yet. Not yet. So he allows a sub to have. Ow! Now you take out your steering.
You take out
your steering.
the steering.
Oh,
I
OJ.
mean, Tapelo coming in there, he's also, he can also play, but
I don't
surely
deny.
we could have had
I
somebody
don't
else.
deny we're not OJ. But when you've got Batman,
Yeah.
you don't put in Robin immediately.
100%.
You stay with Batman.
Give him another 2 possessions.
Give him
and
another
see
2
what he's
possessions.
got
Let's
to
see
give.
what he do.
Absolutely.
Give and go. Back to Fumani. In his time, he would have jumped from outside the box and gone in, reversed in the air, and finished.
Had a cup of tea while in the air, have a think about it, and reverse it on somebody.
Right now, I told him that he's twice the man he used to be, and we'll leave it at that.
Earlier on, Coach K, I saw Kimati making a very nice three-pointer from the baseline.
Yes, sir.
And I said he's dialing in his Steph Curry.
That's what he's trying to do.
And then I realized that maybe he eats more curry than Steph.
Than Steph. and Coach K, we've had a going discussion. He's been averaging 3 threes a game. So I told him, okay, that's the first one. Got to go and get another 2.
Hand down, man down.
That's what we're talking
Hand
about.
down, man down. Because another thing about Masters basketball, the beauty of it is the speciality never disappears.
My man, you can take the guy out of the game. You cannot take the game out of the man.
Truth on facts.
That's what I'm talking about.
C-Note makes the first one there.
C-Note, he has tried to make sure that he gets the free buckets, because that might only be the buckets that he gets. So
and some rebounds. And some rebounds.
And maybe a couple of assists.
That's true.
But I don't see C-Note really running the floor anymore. I think he's much more into running basketball teams now. There goes Sabang. Uh-oh! And he finished.
A good finish there.
You saw that Gucci couldn't really stop him because he's already in foul trouble.
Gucci understands that if he fouls that man, then that's another deficit for the team.
And he's needed.
Let him go.
He's needed. I don't know where you were during the semis, OJ. Did you see Gucci turn up the lights?
Listen, I heard Gucci went Teddy Pendergrass on some people, and unfortunately I was out of range and I couldn't see the game.
That was the problem, OJ.
Yes, sir.
He was saying, shut the door, turn off the lights, pull out the cord, let me show you what I do.
Man.
And he did old school Gucci things.
And what a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing there, as you see C-Note taking a bump there on that drive.
Did I not tell you that C-Note would not be able to score a layup?
If you look at this drive, you can see that
in his time, C-Note would have got up, 2 hands, dunked. Anyway.
I think those 2 rebounds got him going, reminiscing and going memory lane.
Yeah, I think,
and he thought maybe here's a lane.
I think the energy left him from those 2 rebounds. He put everything into getting those boards. Now he's just trying. No, don't worry, C-Note. Let's see. You can get one. You see, 0 for 2.
Hey, man.
All the energy is gone from just that drive. And then Mr. Kuda bails him out and says, let me give you one more. I'll give you a freebie.
I'll give you a freebie.
Let me see whether you can make one. Just make one. Just make one, C-Note. Here we go. Oh, well done. Veteran is veteran.
And we saw earlier in the game the 2 Shabalala brothers sharing the floor, and at one moment they had 2 fast breaks together.
Did you see Lloyd's assist to his brother?
Lloyd did his thing, man, over the back.
After hitting that big 3?
Hey, man, you gotta love it.
Because he's a shooter.
You gotta love it for
sure. He's a shooter. That's what he do. He says he has not yet met a shot that he didn't like. He has not yet met it.
He sees it, he takes it.
He sees it, he takes it. What I'm liking about today, OJ, is that a number of the teams that have played in this year's Masters League are represented.
Yes, sir.
It's not just the guys who are playing today, but the spectators galore. I commend the guys for that.
Absolutely. A very well done to the Gauteng Masters Basketball League for always bringing the action, always giving us a very beautiful product, and the fans are appreciating. The fans are definitely showing the love right back, because if you give the good product, the people will reciprocate.
And what we've also seen is that guys are watching. I got 2 different comments. One from Goodfellas, a young man called Temba Chakela.
Yes, sir.
Another one from a man, Zamam Charlie. They're both watching. They're trying to tell me that I'm making too much noise. I'm going to let them know after this.
I think they need to come here and tell us we're making noise.
They need to come here and tell me straight to my face.
And bring some warm soup as well.
I think so. It's critical to have the warm soup.
And shout outs to my main man, T. Chakela, because that's my hip hoop beard brother. Not just hip hop
you see, now you're starting
DJs,
things that we're
not
not
just
talking
basketball
about,
players,
Sensei.
not just
Sensei, let's
handsome
concentrate
bearded
on the
men,
game.
but 2 brothers doing their thing.
Yeah, no, this bearded man gang is a problem.
Shout out to the Beard Gang worldwide.
Shout out to the beard gang.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, with just over 5 minutes to go, the score sits at 42 to MBB, 24 to the Titans.
Yeah, I think the Titans are going to need to put in a shift on defense. They can't allow any easy buckets. They can't allow Fumani that open. Lucky that he missed that. Again, a sign of age. That would normally be bread and butter for him.
Chicho there on the attack, just could not finish.
And if Titans aren't scoring on the transition bucket, they're not going to get close to covering this lead. As you'll see, MBB is going to play very controlled basketball now. They know that they've got the lead, even though there's still 4.5 in the third. If they just play controlled basketball, they've got this chip all over.
And those were good active hands there by the Titans to force that turnover from MBB. As
What,
they now.
what do you think about this 1-3-1 defense that MBB is playing?
Give me one possession, Coach K, and I will revert to you.
I like the 1-3-1, OJ, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
The 1-3-1 makes the opposition think about what they're doing, because it's not a traditional defense. You're not having guys standing on a man necessarily. They are marking a space and they're marking passing lanes. And because they're marking passing lanes, as you pick up, you have to think twice about what you do.
Because
and that's exactly what's going on.
It leaves the entire offense discombobulated,
100%.
Coach K. No
now,
gaps, no
if
spaces.
you were trying to run a quick offense, you have to think twice.
Very true. And that's why you are Coach K.
That's what I do, baby.
Picking up the X's and O's. Way to stop that break there by C-Note.
Oh! The no look from the vest, and QD messes up the vest assist. You know Tabang's going to tell him all about
He's
it
gonna
for
tell
the
him.
rest of the game and the rest of the year.
And Tabang will probably tell Q why Q is not playing in the bowl.
He's going to let him know. He's going to let him know. The other good thing that they've done for the semis and the finals is making the game stop-start.
Yes.
Because as long as it's stop-start, it always feels like you're still in the game. If it was still running time, by now you'd be sort of, this game is over. There's the spin move! And he finishes, even looking for the foul,
some good
making sure
patience
sort of,
there.
oh, are you here? Let me finish anyway.
That little look back was like that.
Are you still here? Don't
He hit
worry,
him with
I
a
got this.
Of course, the magic of the dancing shoes.
There you
Tabang
go.
Kwedi all day. Tapelo on the attack.
And he goes into triple
towers.
towers. Into triple towers.
Leon
Leon! Oh.
pulls up, doesn't connect. Two gathers. Here comes
Basic
MBB.
basketball. Just pass it out. You don't have to dribble it out. Q running the floor, jumper, no good.
No good. A good look.
Good look. I think he
High-
worked too hard on defense.
High percentage on any day, that shot.
That is Q's thing.
Yep. Indeed, very efficient.
But you know, as you get older, the knees go first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a foul. That was a foul. That was a foul.
Nice move there by Given Khobane.
By Given. Give is trying to give. There we go. Look at that drive on the baseline. Tabang comes, bumps him with the chest, and then follows through with the hands.
I think that was a good initiation bump there, shoulder bump by Given to attract.
But now Given misses the first of two.
Gotta
You're
make
not
those.
going to cut into a lead if you're missing from the charity stripe when the clock is stopped.
You take some steady chews on it because makes one, and
One
now
out
the
of two.
deficit sits at 19.
There we go. And a 19-point deficit in the Masters, when you've got guys who are shooting threes, when you've got guys who are hitting layups, when you've got guys who can hit at the charity stripe, it's tough for you to cover when you aren't hitting everything that you could.
That's very true.
In his day, that was a bucket from Fuman. When the pressure's on, time's running out. Oh, that's what he loves.
We've seen a wealth of
There
beautiful
goes- there
moments
goes
there
Parfait.
by that young man.
Let's here we go. Given again on Tabang. No, Tabang doesn't bite this time. gives him the air ball. And you see him slowing it right down. He sort of, 1.5 left. Let's go into a half-court set. And that, is that a jumper? Or is that a foul? There's nothing better than the fact that all these Masters players know each other.
Yeah.
So there's never any beef.
Of course.
Just
Of
look at
course.
this. Hand. Taban swings.
And of
They
course,
sort of, come on, guys.
that's a
just
nice
play.
old school.
That's an
veteran
old
move,
school.
like, hey, I'm just
He's
scared.
sort of, hey, I'm just clearing. I'm just clearing my cylinder. And as you can see, the basketball god say, yeah, you were fine,
You're
Taban.
right.
You were good.
Ball
make
is
that,
good.
make that
Ball is
first one.
good.
Here we go with the second. 1 for 2. 1:20 left. Deficit still at 20, or the lead at 20. Interesting, Sensei Juice. Would you say that this is a average scoring game, a high scoring game, or a low scoring game?
It's a fun game, I'll tell you that.
All right.
The first part is it's a fun game.
You know, the good thing about me is that I work in communications. I'm very clear when somebody has not answered my question. I also know why. Sometimes people don't answer our questions.
So I think when Coach K, somebody can come in and name a few elements to maybe why the score is looking the way it's looking. Somebody can maybe attribute it to the cold.
Yep.
Somebody can attribute it, to different elements.
Midweek game,
Late
night game.
I was just in a whole bunch of meetings the
you know,
entire game.
I'm already stressed from
I couldn't get
from
into my
doing
game
performance
mode.
reviews.
Somebody can say, hey, it's payday, I'm too happy. There's too many things.
There's
too
many things, and
Somebody's worried about debit orders tomorrow morning.
my man, and somebody's wife told him, oh, you're going to the game today. All right. We'll see whether there's food in the microwave when you come back.
Yeah, we're going to basketball. What's you Monaka 8? Whether you are here or not.
Whether you are here or not. There goes the vest again. Mr. Baby Hook. There goes Leon on the run. And he gives it. Aye.
And let me tell you,
I don't know what to tell you.
C
OJ.
Note is going to say that
It
was a
is
chase
me.
down.
He is. Look at him with his little young dog swag. So that was all me. That was all me. But again, it goes to show when you're a vest, if they sit you down for too long, you get back into the game cold.
100%.
You need time to warm up.
And in fact, at this point, I'm just trying to imagine at what point in the fourth quarter would Coach Silepe clear the bench
Yeah.
and give everybody else a run.
I can tell you for free, unless if they're still up by 20 with the last 2 minutes, then he'll clear the bench. Before that, he will want to ensure that the game is won.
Milk it all the way.
All the way. Hey, people aren't playing here just for a big pen and some erasers. People are playing here for the bragging rights of calling yourselves 2025 Masters champions. And especially since neither of these teams were the first or the second seeds.
And I mean,
You know that in his time, Fumani was going to go up and reverse and dunk that ball into the middle of next
have
week.
some tea while he's up there and a little think about it.
And maybe even give a shout out to his friends back in Limpopo and say, hey, Minjani.
Ivukile. Now danka lava Joe Bag.
Ah, you see. And now today, it's just, let me create a young buddy layup. Let me just make sure that I get these 2 points. I just need to add to my numbers.
He's thinking of his efficiencies, of course.
Hey, OJ, shout out to Fahrenheit and
Spartan Arms.
Spartan Arms. Without the support of, we might be playing outside.
Absolutely.
on a concrete court.
Concrete court.
And maybe using our cars to give us the lights.
The light, and of course, shout outs to the city of Joburg as well, for assisting with the venues between the Brixton Multipurpose Center as well as the Mandeville Sports Center.
And shout out to the guys who are doing this for us, by us. The admin of the Masters, these guys are doing it for the love of the game. We're not going to call them out by name because they are us. We can't give them any more support than we already have.
But allow me to just say shout outs to Mr. Price
my
Billy
man,
Price,
my man.
all day, all night.
Man.
That's one man that's making sure that
They call him Billy Price.
Billy Price.
Billy Price.
Billy Guns Price.
Billy Guns Price. Because that's what he do.
Absolutely.
It's
yeah,
fine, we'll
man.
represent you.
I'm saying,
We'll
give me a good
represent
4
you.
years, I'll be over there.
Yeah, man.
And
so here we go, beginning of the fourth. That gap is still 22. I think, as we said, we'll see how it goes. Oh! That's how you start. You start by cutting into the lead with a nice young jumper. Get yourself warm. Let's see what it do.
And the way this game is open, Coach K, it's somewhat a bit difficult to pinpoint, but there's one or two of the fellas that are standing out
100%.
and looking in place to win MVP.
And for me, I think one of the things that we've seen as old school basketballers is that the MVP has to come from the winning team.
So, of course.
Because otherwise, what did you contribute to if your team lost?
100%.
And for me, to your point, we have seen everything. We've seen the veteran do his thing. We've seen the guards do their thing, especially Young Du when he came in with a spark. But we've also seen guys on the defensive end of the floor.
We've seen the nice dancing shoes of Thabang Kgwedi as well in the paint.
And his old school moves.
Amen. So we're seeing guys bringing what they've always brought
100%.
over the years of their basketball tenure. And it's so beautiful to see such after so many years.
And it would be interesting to have an MVP that maybe was a holistic MVP, i.e. contributed on both sides of the floor, as opposed to just succeeded in scoring.
On buckets, for sure.
And for me, that talks about being a complete player. You see, there's Q disrupting that rebound and so allowing his guys to get it.
And let me tell you, Coach K, Cyril better not come here and tell us he needs to be MVP just because he grabbed 2 rebounds.
If Cyril even slightly tries to talk to me, I'm going to let him know early. Did you see Thabang milk that foul? I think just that is enough for him to be MVP. You got to see this. Look at him. He goes up for the board. He bumps. He throws himself into Gucci, comes off short, and he's sort of, hey, where's the foul? And Mr. Kuda goes and gives it to him. That's enough to get the MVP just for that. That is veteran basketball.
Is that what
the man? In our day, it was called being clever on the court. It is playing to your strengths, reading the game. But the basketball gods don't lie.
Of course.
That's why you're going to miss that.
They'll come back at you and say, hey, man, that was a good one, but we can't give you all that.
I can't give you all of that. I told you. 0 for 2. Nah, Vest. You didn't deserve that.
We love you, but
you've done enough on other side. There goes Q with the jumper. Oh, in and out. Let's see whether Titans can mount a comeback.
There comes Gucci.
I'm just waiting for Gucci to hit those 3 in a row that he did. Uh-oh. Oh, that's good DC note. That's good DC note. Oh. Mats just took that bump and kept it moving.
Yeah.
And went play down low again. Let's see C-note on the one. There's a good screen. Back out to Q. Over to Fumani. Inside to Thabang. Is there a late cut? No, Thabang on the spin. Yep. Outside to Q. 3-pointer. No good. When you're tired, what goes first? The knees.
The knees.
You'll see it hitting front rim. That means you're not putting in everything that you should be. Oh, that was almost a double dribble by Fumani. Oh, they were lucky that Buffet bailed them out by taking that ball out.
And of going to clear his bench.
Have you seen that in the last 2 minutes there has not been a bucket?
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
That's because guys are tired.
Guys are tired.
There's
a bit of complacency setting in.
A little bit of complacency.
22-point lead. And I think at this point, this would be a good time, if anything, for Coach Silepe to just clear his bench.
Just bring in
and
the
give
guys,
the rest of the guys
a little bit
run.
of energy. Let the guys take a run. You've got a 22-point lead. Even if you give them 3-4 minutes, these are all players.
100%.
You know, it's not like you're suddenly saying you're putting in guys who are novices.
Yeah.
These are all players. They're all veterans. They played the game. They know what to do. They can come in, and even at West, all they need to do is manage the gap.
100%.
You can afford to give up another 17, and you still have.
And you still have a good lead.
You still have a good lead.
So yeah, you know, you put in the red jerseys, as they say,
100%.
and then let them play.
And you know that if you're going to have 3 unanswered baskets, there is nothing but a timeout coming. There is no doubt about it. So let's see. Yep, as you said, new faces on the court. Big Des comes back in. It's
Big Des and Mumalo. Gijo there with the deflection.
Oh, do with a big rebound.
Rebound.
Big Des.
There
Big
Des.
Oh!
Kabat anticipated that spin move there.
Yeah.
And I think once again in his head, Des was going down memory lane. Whereas
it's
he
the
could have
fourth
just
quarter.
finished.
Fourth quarter,
on
you
that
want
layup.
on your numbers as well. You want to show that you contributed.
Hey man, of course, this is on Basketball Sheriff. It's worldwide, baby.
This is worldwide. Who knows? Maybe some of these vets are looking at getting a spot on a BAL
on
team.
a BAL team because
Never
they
know.
know what's happening. They know what's up.
They saw what was going on. Uh-oh. Did you see that ball from Tabak? And then going as a PG, coast to coast. And that's why he's not a PG. And that's why he's not a PG. And that's all you do. You just play the tie. You play controlled basketball. You see? That's what happens when you don't play controlled basketball. And neither did Parfait play controlled basketball.
Couldn't finish there.
He's too anxious. He
You
was too
must
anxious.
definitely finish your breakfast in those instances.
And that's what they call scoreboard pressure. A little bit of a walk there. But he's a veteran. He can get away with it. The
But he
no-look pass.
definitely won't get away with that no-look because that no-look reminds us once again why he's not a point guard.
And there you go. and Selepe is not going to allow a lot of this to continue. He's sort of, okay, that's one bucket. You guys better play serious basketball.
100%.
This game is not won yet.
And I mean, C-Note standing by to come in.
Yeah, I think Selepe just wants some control.
So
He's sort of, in order for the other guy, you see?
another
You see?
turnover once again.
Another,
Definitely needs to be some containment and some intervention
absolutely.
there.
And why? Because this is what happens even when you're a master. When you think the game is won, suddenly, sometimes you just lose a little bit of concentration.
And Coach K, you know, we
Ooh!
say, oh, that's another move there. That's
He was
another
going to
move
dunk
there.
it.
Another move there. And of course, we've seen it. We've seen it.
Watch him.
We've seen it.
Watch him on the spin move. There he goes. Grabs it. Oh! Sells him back. Oh!
Blender. And up.
From before.
When Nelson Mandela was in prison,
That's a 20-year veteran.
wow.
That's a 20-year veteran.
Wow. That's incredible.
And look at Mr. Kuda giving him 2 more. He's at a nah.
Yeah, Kuda starstruck.
He's at a.
He's starstruck,
There's
right?
2 points at the charity stripe. There's the first one. There's the first one.
Goodness gracious, that was absolutely beautiful. A classic man.
I think at most Tabang's got a minute and a half left in this game
Very true. Very true.
because there's absolutely no need for him to finish the game. He's
And
done
C-Note-
everything that he needed to do.
C-Note back to take charge.
Yep. Because He has just come on. He feels that he needs to take a shot. And there
all-
you go. Tabang doing the cleanup again.
And of course, the bench will always deceive you because they'll always call for you to shoot the
That
ball.
is not a shoot! Because they also want you to appear on the score sheet. And there's the Titans also putting in the guys who haven't had too many minutes in this game.
Of course, Vince with the slim, pointy beard coming back. Sexy bearded man there.
That's one of your gang there,
That's
OJ.
one of my gang over there, my man Vince.
You see that they're trying to get the ball to Big Des. Oh, C-Note! Told you, C-Note can't finish that layup. That was his bread and butter.
And let me ask you, Coach K, you know, we had a very beautiful moment during the MBB winning their first game there, and Sino shedding some tears. in the
Shedding
change
proper
room.
tears.
Do you think he's going to shed some tears after winning this game?
Nah, you know, C-Note believes that the Vests are good enough to win it all. And he's played Masters now. So this is usual for him.
Oh, so that's the thing.
The BAL,
That was big.
that was something new. That was something that required proper effort. It was a lot of pain, heartache, blood, sweat, and tears. So I think he was just a little bit of a sigh of relief that, whew,
Absolutely.
we got one.